Hi everybody, we is back. Drop that. Hey everybody, I am back, and today we are doing an updated base routine. As you all have seen, all of my makeup videos are down, so we're starting over from scratch, and it's pretty good because I've actually changed my routine. I'm the type of person, I would do the same thing for like 3 months and then I'll be like, let's see if there's a new way of doing this. Now, before we start, this is going to probably be a voiceover because I have been reading the ACOTAR, or the Court of Thorns and Roses, A Court of Thorns and Roses. Yeah, I've been reading that series. I've gotten through the first 2 books and I don't even know how many hours left on this last one. I've been listening to the last one. I read the first 2 and I am listening to the last one. I will be doing a book review probably about like the first 3 because obviously I haven't read the last. Is it 3? Is there 3 more after this? I'll try my best to like commentate about what I am doing as I'm doing it. But if I don't, just know it's because this book is really good and y'all should read it. The first one, but the last 2 that I've read, these is amazing. These is amazing. I'm going to do my brows off camera and then I'll be right back. So the brows are did. Essentially, I do my brows and then I'll do my eyelids now. I don't usually go above and carve out the brows. Today I was just feeling a little spicy. Let's get started, shall we? I know I said I'm doing my new base routine, but I am adding something new today just for experimental purposes. So what I have seen as of late is when people do any type of grippy primer, they'll mix it in with their foundation. And I was like, I would love to try that once I find my mixing tool. Yes. I'm using the E.L.F. Powergrip Primer, the OG one. I actually think I might end up using. I lied. I'm gonna use this one just because I've been breaking out lately due to hormonal cycle stuff. So I'm going to use this, and I'm going to also be using the Fenty Beauty. This is the matte foundation, shades 360 and 335, because I'm tanning just a smidgen, but I am still very, very, very much low-key ghostly. So, and then we mix it all in together. I don't know how this is gonna work out, but if this don't work out, then everybody on TikTok has lied to me. If it does work out, then this might be a part of my new process. But typically, I'll put the primer all over my face before I do my eyebrows, and then I'll do my eyebrows just to give it time to get tacky and stick. So it's not a huge deviation, just a slight one. Lately, I've been using a flat angled brush like this one. This is actually the one that I use for my fave. I'll do this, or I'll do a completely flat one. I've been liking the stippling brushes. I don't know why, but I have. This is almost a half decent color match. Hold on. We'll see once it oxidizes though. So now that we have a foundation on, now that we have our foundation on, what I do next is I take my concealer. All of my stuff has been Fenty, so tis what it is what it is. I will be branching out at some point this year when I get the chance, but right now, tis just us. Tis just this. I'm gonna be using, which one is this? I think it's the hydrating one. Is the We're Even Hydrating Longwear Concealer, and this is in 330. And I'm going to place it under my eye. I'm gonna let this sit, and then we're gonna reach for our contour stick. Next, I'm going to use Fenty's Contour Stick in the shade Espresso. So naturally, I have dark spots literally right here. It low-key gives natural contour. And at first, I was using that to do my contour. But I've seen where people were saying, you know, go right on the cheekbone. It lifts your face, whatever, whatever. I tried it and I said, well, it's not giving that bad. So I've been doing that. Alright, so this is pretty much the map of what I do as far as highlighting and contouring. I do contour my nose. However, what I've been doing lately is if I don't use a lighter contour, which is typically truffle, sometimes I'll do espresso on the outer edges of my face and then the lighter one, truffle, for the nose. Or because I wear glasses, I really try not to have a lot of product here, especially creamy products. I wear glasses and my T-zone gets really, really oily. No matter how good my skin is, no matter how much water I drink, no matter how much I clean my face, this is going to be oily. So I'll either put a little bit of truffle here after I blend out my concealer, or I'll go in with powder contour. And since that's what I'm doing today, I'll just show you guys later. I'm gonna let the concealer sit, and the reason why I do that is because I'm gonna say they said, because I've seen people like Kenya Broadnax, I think that's how you say her last name. A bunch of people on TikTok, when they do their makeup, they let their they let their concealer sit, and then they work on their contour and blush and all that stuff. And then they come back to their thing and they're just like, because it blends better. And I'm like, well, shoot, I won't mind to blend better. Again, I use an angled brush typically though for my contour. I keep getting back for contour, concealer. Anyway, for my contour, I'll use something that's dense and fluffy. Still angled, but dense and fluffy. Oh yes, wait a minute, the bones Mr. Postman, Mr. Postman. Alright, so next I'm going to do cream blush. I'm going to be using an Eve's one. And as far as brushes go, I literally go back and forth between these two. This one is a little less dense than this one, so I'm probably going to use this one to do the cream, and then this later on for the powder version. But I'm not gonna lie, it any given day it'll switch. Add a little bit, a little bit, a little bit to forehead, and then sometimes I'll do my nose. It really does depend on how I feel that day, but today I don't feel like it. Still using a brush like this for my concealer. I definitely spray her down. I do that anytime I lay concealer, which like on my eyelids. Anytime I have concealer, I will definitely spray her down with a matte setting spray. And I ain't gonna hold you, this matte setting spray, I use it for my utensils, but I do not use it for my face. Here's why. The last couple of times I've used it like 3 times on my whole face, and each time there's like weird wet spots on my face and it doesn't dry matte, and that irritates me. And I do believe it's because of the nozzle and the way that it comes out. It does not come out as a mist, it truly does come out as a spray instead of like a mist. I've tried holding it far away from my face. I've tried holding it close to my face. And no matter what I've done, it just turns out horrible. But it does what it needs to do when it's used with a brush. So now I'm about to blend this out. I'll start under my eyes and kind of, you'll see how it works. But for under my eyes specifically, I gently tap, we're gently tapping. And the biggest thing about this is you want it to spread, you want it to go where it needs to go. I really like using this to really shape out my nose contour and where I'm gonna have it. But I also don't want to pull the product down so much. Like, we're literally just tapping along the edges. I do indeed bring it up, come up, and then I'll bring it down here. But for the most part, subtle, slight taps. Before we move on too much, because oh man, my eyes, they love to crease. I'm going to take my good old one size translucent, and I'm going to take the small powder puff, even though I need a new one because this one's starting to get a little crusty dusty. We're going to take it. We're going to take it. We're going to take it. I'm going to set this up under my eye. I really try to focus mostly on my under eye. If it gets other places, then yay! But really focus on my under eye. Alright, so now I'm about to do the same thing for the rest of the concealer, but I'm going to use a bigger powder puff. Now that we're ashy and look like we have a make-believe beard and facial hair, typically I'll use an even more fluffy, more angled brush, or less fluffy, more angled brush. This is an angled contour brush. I mean, it's like right there in the name, right? So typically I'll take this and do my powder contour, but I used to use this and I think I might have to go back because the other one picks up a lot of product and I don't care too much for that. I use the Contoursition palette by the Crayon case, and typically I'll use this color right here for contour. Sometimes I'll do this one, but this one turns out really dark. It's surprising, like when you look at it, you don't think this is super dark, and then you put it on and it's like, whoa. And essentially I'm just gonna go back over my entire face. Everywhere I put contour, cream contour, I'm gonna put one of those because you want to set every bit of cream with some form of powder. And we took the big brush of everything and dust off all of our setting powder. And now that that's gone, we're going to go back over it with the, what is this called? Rosebud blush from the same Cheek Clapper palette. Go back over. And with the powder, I do tend to get a little closer to my under eye. Just a little bit. Because I don't like that, like, stark difference. And I feel like because while it is pigmented, I'm not going to hold you. It is a very pigmented powder. It's still not as strong as the cream version of it. And truly, like after this, it's not much left. I do some more contouring, which will be my nose in a second. But other than that, I've pretty much done. Oh, that was a loose hair. I hope that's not in my makeup. We'll do a dusting. Put in the sander. Make me look cute. Make me look, and then we'll go, not much. Just a touch. Just a touch. Just a touch. She's getting cute. She's getting hot. To the nose. I have been using this flat stippled brush. I don't know what it's something about these same concepts that I keep using. Like angled, flat, stippled, angled, fluffy tints, you know, or not fluffy, whatever. I've been using this for my nose for a minute. And what I'm gonna do is use that same middle contour. Now, what y'all seen when I did my contour is like I'll go into this one. I hope you can see it on camera. This one, sometimes dip into this one, sometimes dip into that one, depending on the depth that I need for my face. But for my nose, I use this one specifically and almost completely in and of itself. And I try to use like the side of the brush as much as possible to kind of start the contour. I have been flicking up into my brow bone and into my brows, you know, so there's a natural gradient and curve and all of those things. As far as my nose, this is the one thing, and I might switch brushes because of it. Depending on the day will depend on whether or not my nose contour chews. Depends on where I sit, how well it's lit. It's something. So I might definitely be like switching brushes. I have also gotten into using my fingers a lot more on my nose and try to like blend it, blend it, blend it, blend it more. But I feel like my nose is fine. You think we're done? You would hope we're done, but we're not. As you can tell, most of my life is One Size Beauty and Fenty Beauty. As far as base goes, those are the two brands that I typically have, and then E.L.F for primer and skincare. But as far as eyeshadow palettes and things of that nature, it is definitely Crayon Case and Juvia's Place. You better rhyme, period. So I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna spray this one good time. And because okay, this does not smell the best, and when you do sniff it, you think you're gonna die. I'm not gonna hold you. You think life is evading you. But what I've seen, I do remember this being Jackie Aina. What she does, she take a deep breath and then she'll breathe out as she's spraying. So that's what I'm about to do with this. Y'all ready? Still stinks. Just helps you get through the process better. So that's spray number one. I'm not gonna do my eyeliner right now, but I am gonna go ahead and do my moles. There's a spot right here on my cheek that I always do. I do one right here above my brow, typically somewhere around my chin. But next, I'm going to go in with my drum roll, please. Blah 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 blah. Literally, trophy wife might as well be the only one that I own at this point. I do have a I think it's a ColourPop like palette, but I use the gold one in that. Truth be told, gold highlighter for me is superior. Yes, if I do like a purple look, I'll do a purple highlighter. Or if I do a blue look, I'll try to do a blue highlighter. But truth be told, I have gold highlighter superiority complex. Like it just is what it is. We're gonna use our fan brush. And Shorty, she broken. She done traveled multiple times, and after every time I've traveled, they break her. And I fixed her, I think like once, and then they broke her immediately again. I said, well, we're gonna thug it out. High points. I do believe I have a touch of blush blindness. I do like when my cheeks are very much rosy, despite the fact that I didn't like blush to begin with. Now it's not gonna be just a streak of gold necessarily, but I need to see her pop. I just do. And it's something about the Fenty Trophy Wipe highlighter on top of the One Size blush that kind of gives like princessy, and it's really cute. So I'll take an eyeshadow brush. I try not to pick up too much. And I will highlight my brow. Uh-huh. Brow bone. Right up under that arch. And then, because I'm not going to do a crazy eye look, I'm going to also put some in the corners of my eyes. And that is essentially where all of the highlighting goes. Let me make sure that that's it. We're going to go in with this again after we go in with our Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Setting Spray. My only issue with it, my literal only issue with this is the fact that it does not dry down matte. The more you spray, the longer it should stay. Let her dry. I do have a fan now, y'all. I just tend to not use it. Now, I'll go back again with this. The hairography is everything. So this is essentially literally all that I do for my base. My base has gotten much quicker, but it's also because I know what I want to look like. I have a very firm idea of what looks good for me and on me. I'm going to try to do some form of an eyeshadow look, and or something with my eyes. My eyes is gonna get done, and I'll be right back once I do all of the final finishing touches to close out this video. Okay, guys, so I tried to do some form of like graphic liner. You can go see my TikTok if you want to see that, or even visit my YouTube shorts if you want to see how this monstrosity came about. It doesn't look that bad with the lashes on, but I definitely need help. But anyway, thank you guys for watching this video. This is how I've been doing my base makeup for the last couple of months. Let me know what's your favorite part. Let me know if you learned something down in the comments below. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. All of the options. And yeah, see you next video. Bye.